Hi, let's start on our backs today. Hug knees into chest. And just begin by sort of sidewise rolling side to side, just a little bit over your sacrum. Breathe down into the pelvic floor, into your lower back. And then just come to a place in the middle. Breathing now into the pelvic floor, into the tailbone region, this first breath. And exhale, softening up the sacrum. And this next one, breathe into your pubic bones. It's going to be a little bit more forward. And then release, feeling that breath move up the front, like right in the front of your belly. And then inhale into your right sit bone. And then exhale, just allow that to move to the right side of the body. And then inhale into your left sit bone. And then let that come up the left side of the body. Now inhale into your tailbone and your pubic bone, so both front and back here. And as you exhale, feel yourself bring your pubic bone and your tailbone together. It might just be in your mind's eye, that's okay. And inhale, release pubic bone and tailbone. And then exhale, bring your two sit bones together. And then inhale, release. Then exhale, bring your tailbone and your right sit bone together. Inhale, release. Your tailbone and your left sit bone together. Inhale, release. Your pubic bone and your right sit bone together. Inhale, release. Your pubic bone and your left sit bone together. Inhale, release. Now bring all 4 points together. Inhale, release all 4 points. One more time. Exhale, bring all 4 points together. And then inhale, release. And just roll side to side a little bit. Just notice if it feels any different there in your sacrum. Does your bone relate to the floor a little bit differently? Your back. Hug your right knee into your chest. Inhale. Exhale, bring your head up. Inhale, lengthen your spine down. Exhale, bring your head up. Inhale, lengthen spine down. Exhale, bring head up. Inhale, lengthen spine down. One more time. Exhale, bring head up. Stay there. Inhale into your right pubic bone. To your pubic bone, sit bone, and your right hip bone, sits bone. And then exhale, and then inhale, bring it on down. Take your leg out to the side. Right arm slings underneath that leg. And just gently feel yourself move that thigh bone back and forth in the hip socket. And if you want to take your body off, that's okay too. But just make sure that you're deciding when you're going to keep your left butt on the floor and when you're going to keep it, when you're going to let it roll, and why you're going to let it roll. Just play around in there. The idea of opening up the fascia, the connection in your foundation, in your pelvic floor. And then release. Just notice if one leg feels longer than the other. If one side of your pelvic floor or your hip region feels a little different. Bring your left knee in. Inhale. Exhale. Curl head up. Inhale, lengthen back down. Exhale. You might actually start to be thinking about your sit bone. Your left sit bone, pubic bone, and tailbone on this side, and how they're moving in and away from each other. Possibly in together, since that's the pattern we set up on exhale, and then moving back away on inhale. This last time, keep your head up there. Exhale. Inhale, opening up all those 3 points, tailbone, left sit bone, and pubic bone. Exhale, bring them all together. And inhale, release back down. Sling left arm underneath your left thigh and just allow your left thigh bone to be supported by your left arm as you just roll it around in the hip socket. Sort of feeling what's happening in the pelvic floor as I do so. So I'm making my movement pretty large so you can see it for camera, but you at home might be taking really, really small movements just to see how does moving my thigh bone affect my inner workings of my pelvic floor. And if you want to take it bigger, just to experiment and see what that's like, go right ahead, of course. This is your exploration. This is a playtime. It's playtime. Good, and then release that leg down and just see how it's different. Rolling back over onto all fours. Inhale up. Exhale, curl the toes under and slide back, stretching into the bottoms of the feet. Feeling the bottoms of the feet relating to your pelvic floor now as I inhale, opening up all the points of my diamond, and exhale, bringing them all in. Stretching out the bottoms of my feet here. Inhale. This time I'm going to bring my right sit bone and my pubic bone and tailbone together as I take it to the right a little bit. Inhale, back up. Exhale, and I'm going to take it to the left, so that left triangle. Inhale, back up. Take it to the right again. And you may have your own little experiments that you'd like to try, like maybe instead of bringing the whole triangle on that side together, you might just pick a pubic bone and a sit bone, or tailbone and a sit bone, or any 2 points. I'm picking 3 as I go from side to side, just because that's what I'm doing today. Another day, possibly other things, probably other things. And this will be the last side. One more through the center now. Stay there, and I'm feeling the palms, the diaphragms of my palms now pressing in, connecting with the buoyancy and diaphragms of my feet. And allow my pelvic floor in the middle to be that middle diaphragm right now. As if I'm breathing into my whole torso as lungs. Feeling the buoyancy between my hands and my feet. So my movements for my legs and my actions and my gestures and my expression through my arms are connected to my foundation. Inhale up. Tap the toes out if you need to. And then slide back to child's pose for a moment. Just feeling the breath move through that whole pelvic floor region and just see how it's changed anything else into my body. Back to fours. I'm going to face the camera. So right arm will come up, inhale, and then exhale, slide it through, moving my right shoulder to the ground. Getting all sorts of pings on my computer this morning. I hope you enjoy the soundtrack. Now breathe in to whatever parts of the pelvic floor you'd like to explore in this gentle twist. And how is it relating to the rib cage now? The tops of my feet, are they just off the floor? Or can I find the tops of my feet? Can I find some sort of relationship between the floor and the tops of my feet in this pose? Feel free to slide your left foot back behind you. And open that side up. I'll put it to the side to show. And if it feels fun for you to explore lifting that leg, possibly from your sit bone, tailbone, pubic bone, feeling your pubic bone, tailbone, sit bone of the right as you're stabilizing, and the pubic bone, sit bone, tailbone of your left as a flying, as a gesturing leg. One more breath. And then release and come down. Inhale, come back up. And force. Just notice. This time, take the left arm up, slide it underneath. I adjust and put my right hand sort of so I can see it it's in line with my head here. Playing with that connection in my pelvic floor to take pressure out of my hip crease, possibly. Am I more in tune with my right side or my left side? When we start working with judgments, things can get very sided, which is why today's practice deals a lot with the pelvic floor and our foundation. So we can acknowledge our sides from a place of steadiness, from a place of center line. Then go ahead and take your right leg back behind you. Find those triangles. Your stabilizing one would be the left sit bone, pubic bone, tailbone. The flying or gesturing one would be the right sit bone, pubic bone, tailbone. How can I find the balance between my two sides, my gesturing side and my supporting side? Because I have two sides, but they come together in the center. All sides come together in the center, because by definition, a side is a side of something, and that something would be a center. So remember that when we're out there picking sides, that we all have to, we don't have to, but there is a place of center where we all meet. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a side. And sometimes it may be tedious to find it, and sometimes we just don't want to find it. And that's okay. That's just a choice. One more, because sometimes we're exploring a side. And bring it back down. Inhale up. And now you can either slide back into child's pose or take it into down dog. Inhale, exhale, draw the abdomen up. As you inhale, really open up your sit bones, your tailbone, your pubic bones, really open up that pelvic floor on inhale. And as you exhale, bring everything together, just gently, from a place of fascia, not a place of muscle. So can I feel it slide and glide together in there? And then after my exhale, then draw the abdomen up and see if it slides and glides a little bit more. Inhale is when I release and it slides and glides in the other direction. Exhale. Draw the abdomen up. Carry on for a few more breaths on your own breath, experimenting with the sliding and the gliding of the pelvic floor. From here, bring one of your legs forward. I'm bringing my right leg forward. I'm going to turn and face the long edge of my mat now. So in Prasarita Padottanasana. So now I've got a nice big wide diamond in my pelvic floor just because my legs are apart. Inhale, exhale, bend gently my right leg, feeling that how I'm moving the fascia in my pelvic floor as I go from side to side. I'm choosing the breath pattern to inhale up and exhale as I sink. This is no means the right breath pattern. It's just the one I'm liking today. So pick that one or try the other one if you want, which would mean I'm inhaling as I lower down, which is going to do something different to my pelvic floor than when I exhale and come back up. In fact, right now, I'm just going to switch it for myself. So I'm going to inhale on the way down. Feel that opening of that pelvic area, and then exhale, feeling all to come together as I go back through the center. It's very different. Kind of fun to play. Play, play, play. It's playtime. And this next time your right leg is bent, inhale on the way down if you've chosen to switch it like I did. Exhale, feel that come together, and then inhale, lift your right arm up. From here, just do some rotations of your arm. And then take it out to the wall. And as if you're going to put a light bulb, like a screw light bulb in, just move the arm away and then unscrew it back into the socket. So just move it away, unscrew it back in the socket. So now we're just getting some different kinds of reach and expression with my arms, with my limbs. How can I reach for something? What's the quality when I reach for something? And when I bring it back to me. Okay, that's enough of those. Bring the arm back up. See if your arm feels any different up there now. Has the twist changed for you? Now turn the arm away, bend the elbow, and let it drip down. Release your left arm off the floor if you like. Some of you, that's maybe too strong of a movement, just not happening for you. You might be done with your legs by now. And release, float the arm down. Inhale, come back up to the center. You can be lower than me. I'm babying my left hamstring a little bit here. Inhale and exhale, lower the left leg down. And then when you're ready for your next inhale, raise your left arm. See how that's feeling? Go ahead and rotate it around a little bit. Take a few breaths to focus on the pelvic floor, the sit bone, pubic bone, tailbone aspect here. And then take your arm out to the side and then screw that light bulb in and then bring it back to you. It may screw in a different direction, but it might not. Just feel that quality as I spiral and reach and then spiral and bring it back to me. What is that quality? Am I reaching with full intention? Is it just a mechanical movement? Am I reaching desire, or is it aggressive? Is it tentative? Okay, that's probably enough of those. Bring your arm back up. Notice it changes the depth or quality of your twist. You can adjust your arm, see if it changes it at all. And rotate it, bend the elbow, slide it down the back. If you want, bring your arm up. I'm going to not put my arm up today because I'm really backing off on that side. Breathe deep into your whole pelvic floor. And then bring it back to the center. Now walk your body around to the right again, spin to the lunge. Back knee can be on the floor. Let's take it off the floor and do our peels, connecting that foot diaphragm to the pelvic floor now. So feeling my heel pumping all the way into my sit bone, tailbone, pubic bone, my whole pelvic floor region. Oftentimes I feel my heel sit bone connection in standing poses. So that for me is a gateway into the pelvic floor, but you might find another one. Good, and go ahead and stay there. You can keep your knee off the floor if you like. We're gonna take a gentle twist or let that knee go down to the ground if you like. Kind of up to you. Inhale, bring your left arm up. And then exhale, feel that sense of the gesture of your whole spiraling here from the pelvic floor to the arm to take it across to the twist. And you just might take a gentle twist here. You might be more warmed up and take the elbow, linking it across. but make sure that that back foot is connected somehow, whether your foot's flat, the top of the foot's on the floor or your toes are curled under, but make sure that that diaphragm is also relating to your palm diaphragms and your pelvic floor diaphragm, as well as now, of course, the thoracic or your lung diaphragm. One more breath, doesn't have to be very long. And then release. Rotate that front leg out into pigeon. This is a great one for the pelvic floor, I think. So you've had a lot of ways of breathing into the pelvic floor. So I'm going to invite you now to just choose your own. We've got this, again, to review, which I'm sure you already know. The sit bone, the tailbone, the sit bone, and the pubic bone. So you can breathe in and out of any combinations there you like, or just do a general, or feel free just to let it go and see what the pose offers you. Inhale, slowly come up. Let's slide it back to down dog. I know we approached on this side from a different direction, but that's okay. And then bring your left foot forward to the lunge, back knee off the floor, peeling to the feet, feeling that foot diaphragm all the way. So I'm feeling my right sit bone, heel connection, feeling that connection of my heel into my pelvic floor. Feeling it pulse and breathe, and there's life there in my foundation. My foundation is a living thing. It's not like cement that we pour when we're building a house sometimes. Growing up in Iowa, we would always have basements and foundations, and they were poured, and it was cool as a kid to go walk around homes being built, to watch that. And we always thought of this foundation, at least I always thought of this foundation as this rocky kind of dead thing, but it's a living, breathing thing. Our foundation's always changing as we change and grow. Our foundation changes. And if we allow our foundation to change and grow with us, it can support our new realities. So go ahead and release your leg down. We're moving into that twist now. You can also have your leg up, as I said, on the other side. I'm going to bring my right arm up. Feel that sense of my gesturing all the way from that pelvic diaphragm. And then from there, I'm actually twisting from that pelvic diaphragm region. Feeling that back foot diaphragm. I'm having more success today with my toe curled under. It's not like every day, just today. Feeling my pelvic floor diaphragm, my thoracic diaphragm, all the way into my throat diaphragm, all the way into my head too. One more breath. And release. And now take your own pigeon breathing exploration. As you explore your foundation in the moment. And then inhale, slowly come up. Exhale, slide back to down dog. Take the forearms to the floor and dolphin if you like, and now allow your head and neck to gently have a nice relationship here between your pelvic floor. So feeling that sense of my pelvic floor diaphragm, my feet diaphragm, my hands diaphragms, my lung diaphragm, my throat diaphragm now. Ah, ah. You can make some sound here, because why not? It's cool to chant or do things when you're upside down. Your voice can sound way different, way more resonant for some people. One more. Come down, child's pose. Let's roll back onto our backs. Feet flat on the floor, knees to the ceiling. Breathing into your full pelvic floor here. And as you exhale, just feel that pelvic floor come into the body. So inhale, that whole balloon of fascia moves away. And exhale just comes into the body. Maybe up about 2 inches, 3 inches below your belly button. Inhale, release. It actually isn't coming in that far, but that's maybe the visual. At least mine isn't going in that far. Yours might be. What do I know? I'm not there. Now breathe into that right triangle. So the right sit bone, pubic bone, and tailbone. Expand them. And then exhale, bring them back together. And then the left sit bone, pubic bone, and tailbone. And then bring them back together. And then center. And now inhale, let all the pelvic floor, 4 pelvic floor points go out. And then exhale, bring them in, and then just release your sacrum down to the floor. So trying to really pull things up a little bit more firmly. And then inhale, release to create a little bit more contrast. And exhale, so it's kind of like a pelvic tilt, but don't want to be thinking about it from the tilting the bones. That's what's happening, but it's because you're moving your pelvic floor. And just a few more of these, really allowing your lower back to get longer here. And then stay in that pelvic tilt, and then inhale into your pelvic floor, which is sort of holding there to keep this happening. You almost have to keep your pelvic floor somewhat engaged. But breathe into that anyway, and exhale, bring it up a little bit higher. Feeling the foot diaphragms really start to say, oh, I'm awake. I'm on the job. And then inhale again. And exhale. In. X. Creeping it up clearly. I'm really feeling that connection of my foot diaphragms in my pelvic floor. So I'm super supported here in my legs and my foundation. As I begin to breathe life into my torso, lightness into my heart. If I choose to walk my upper arms together, then I've got another pair of feet here on the feet of my upper arms. Make sure that you're not standing to the outsides of your feet, that you're actually putting the weight through the center of your feet. So equal pressure on the inner ball mount and the outer ball mount, and maybe going right through the center of your heel instead of the outside. We have a tendency to cue that a lot in yoga, to lift your arches from a, I think it's oftentimes if we just lift our arches, it's not coming from anywhere. It's just an exercise, like lifting weights, instead of having it be something that is really relevant or not relevant. It's not really teaching us anything about our true authentic structure, the one that we use all the time without having to force it on ourselves. It's like posture can be a shape, but alignment is your dynamic way of being. And then release and come down. Bring knees into the chest, little dynamic twist. Inhale into those pelvic points. Exhale, lower knees over to the left, head to the right. And then inhale back. Take just a few of these on your own. Take them as big or small as you like, as fast or slow as you like, with the idea of how we did our arm, that spiraling of the arm earlier. Now I'm going to feel that same sense of spiraling and gesture of my spine. Stay with your knees to the left. And play with a little of your arm. And then become steady. Inhaling into the pelvic floor and exhaling. Letting it release. Go ahead and pet your top of your right hip all the way down the side of your right leg into your right knee. Up from your right ribs, down your hip to your knee. Just pet that fascia a little bit. And release. And then come back to the center. Take a moment. Over the other side. You may want longer there. If so, do take it. Otherwise, take your knees to the right. Finding that spiraling of my spine. With my right hand now on my left knee, starting to pet the fascia. My left knee down a little bit further. Depends on how long your arms are too. And then pet the side, hip, going up to my ribs. The intention of my lung and kidney getting some love. There's some my other organs on that side, so why not? Everyone can join in the fun as we play. I'm just petting it, not trying to massage my muscles. I'm just really, literally just stroking the more surface layers of my being. And then stay there. Notice after you've done that, how's your twist? Is it a little bit deeper? Is it a little less deep? How has it changed for you, if it did? And then come back to the center. Hug knees into the chest. Inhale, exhale, curl head up. Inhale, lengthen down. Flex the feet gently. Press heels of the hands in and slightly up on your thighs. Lower back to the floor, relax. Just really micro moves of your head side to side to remember to keep your jaw relaxed here. As I really focus on seeing if I can get my lower back to the floor. If your legs twitch, that's okay. Getting our deeper foundational core muscles fired up and warm. One more breath in. You could hold it here for a whole nother minute if you like, but we won't. Hug the knees in, and then release into Shavasana. For Shavasana today, just feel yourself falling deeper and deeper into the center of the earth with each breath. And as you fall deep into that center of your earth, know that something will be catching you. Start to feel the space that you're falling in is viscous and comfortable. And you start to be met by the most comfortable substance you've ever felt in your entire life. And it comes up to support your head, shoulders, arms, upper back, lower back, buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Till you're totally and completely supported on all levels and dimensions right here, right now. Feel your foundation as a foundation of true support. The support that you're offering yourself right now by taking the time to do this class. Allow yourself to receive the gift of the support you're giving yourself right now. You took the time. You're worth it. This gift is for you, the gift you gave yourself. Feel your foundation now supported with gifts like this, with this gift and more gifts of this self-love support. Paving the way, creating pathways to receive support, not only from your insides, but also from your external world. Allow yourself to release and surrender into this support now. As you receive. Remember that this wellspring of support is limitless and without condition. Remember that you created space for yourself today, and you'll do it again and again in many ways. When you're ready, take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit, maybe move your head side to side. And then just go ahead and just start to rub your body a little bit. Oh, kind of pet yourself. Give yourself a hug. Just really thank yourself for showing up for yourself today. When you're ready, just gently roll onto one of your sides into a loose fetal position, taking as much time as you like now. And when you are ready to roll over and come to seated, please do so. And just feel your sense of your pelvic floor. How is it supporting your seat? How do you feel? How do you feel supported? Do you feel supported? Can you allow yourself to receive just a little bit more support? Just a little bit more. Relax and feel just a little bit more. And when you're ready, take a breath in. Drop to your chest, carry on with the meditation. I'll see you there. Otherwise, my honor and privilege, as always. Namaste.